What up, leaders? Welcome back to my channel. So I just wanted to show you what's happening at this southern end of Cemetery Road, Lexington Road. So that's the Independence Police Station, East Independence. Let's just verify again. For those of you who are, you are native to this community, you are welcome to correct me when I'm wrong, because East Ruimveldt. So it's East Ruimveldt. This is the East Ruimveldt Police Station, Police Outpost. Right? East Ruimveldt Police Outpost. So we're in East Ruimveldt. I always used to refer to this section of the city as East Independence, but done by the cemetery, but it's actually East Ruimveldt. So in this section, it's close to the back road, that is close to the Mandela Avenue, what we used to call the back road. I'm going to talk about that in another video, perhaps the end of this video, because we're heading in that direction. So what has happened over the year, this past year, is they've started building this sidewalk over the drain. There's a drain here before, and it was just a narrow street. So what they've done is they've widened the street. So what they've done is actually added about, 3 feet, 4 feet of width to the street, filling in part of the drain, and then building a concrete drain covering it with this this material. This is East Ruimveldt, right? East Ruimveldt in Georgetown, Guyana. It's always puzzled me why they kept a canal in the center. So there's a canal separating these two halves of the street, and it only becomes two halves of Cemetery Road and Mandela Avenue. Like the north end of north end of Lexington Road, between Irving Street and Lexington Road, there is a canal. So that's kind of replicated here. And what they've done is they have completed this sidewalk since the last time I was here. The last time I was here, this was an open drain, and they were putting in the steel work, the rebar. So now they've completed this sidewalk, and they've also started the process of widening this part of Cemetery Road. Now I don't know if the same contractor is responsible for this, Avinash Construction, which we saw in the previous video. You go take a look at it, where I shall give you an update on what's happening with the construction of Cemetery Road. But like I said, the last time I was here, this construction was not yet at this stage. So they were still working on building out these drains, as you can see. It's a neat little garden here. Somebody is maintaining this little park. It's called the, let's see if we can catch it on this. It's called the Lexington Square Promenade, a community initiative for the people, by the people. It's a little kiddies play park here in East Ruimveldt. Right, I think I've shown you this interesting little park. It's just a strip of land, a little strip of reserve land between these two streets, and I think a community center ground, which is up ahead. Right, but somebody has put a little bit of love and effort into keeping up this little garden. Does need a little bit of paint, fence perhaps needs to be redone. So this is a community center, right? East Ruimveldt. See what if you can read the sign on it. It says East Ruimveldt something. But yeah, this is a community center, community park here in East Ruimveldt. And I just wanted to show you this little garden little park. This, I think, used to be called, in New York City, when Robert Moses was building these parks all over the city, this used to be called a pocket park. It's like a, you know, shirt pocket or pants pocket. But they used to be called, these little parks you find all over New York City, just about one lot. And they are here too in Guyana. Right? This is only a pocket park here. So let's get back to what I was saying about Cemetery Road construction. So the Minister of Public Works, Mr. Edgehill, Bishop Edgehill, has threatened to revoke the contract of this contractor because it's taking too long to complete this construction. And I don't know if it's the same contractor who's building the bridge at the other end. I showed that in the previous video. You could take a look at that. But this has been under construction for several years, at least since 2022, I believe, because that's how long I've been traversing this section of the city and looking for developments. And they were supposed to widen this section of the city, these streets, Cemetery Road, what is also known as Vlissingen Road, and it connects to Mandela Avenue, what used to be called the back road. At this intersection, there was a fatal accident, in fact several fatal accidents at this intersection, because it's a dangerous intersection with a long traffic light, and especially in the nights people are impatient, right? And then in the night you're driving out here 2 o'clock in the morning, people don't like to wait on the traffic lights, and so a city businessman was killed when his car collided with a truck, one of these sand trucks, right at this intersection. My argument has always been that these intersections are unnecessary. Whenever possible, we should have overpasses which avoids intersecting traffic. Right? You should have overpasses and ramps to enter the highways. Anyway, this is Mandela Avenue, as I said. Mandela Avenue, Vlissingen Road. Vlissingen Road is the street we're on, that's the street we're coming from. Also called Cemetery Road. That's the intersection. Now I'm going to finish this video off by saying, making a point that I've made before in passing, and that is, morning, there's a reserve, right? There's a bit of reserve land between this back road or Mandela Avenue, right? That's the reserve. This is a reserve. And at one end of the reserve, in fact at both ends of the reserve, they've constructed buildings on this reserve. And that's within the last 3 years, the last 3 or 4 years. And why that's a bad idea is because this reserve was planned for a reason. This is the kind of reserve on which you could put. Yeah, man. Yeah. So this reserve is where the city planners, had in fact created space for mass transit, right? This reserve is the ideal place to put a light rail, But this government has been covering all the reserve lands with buildings and removing the possibility of building light rail. So what they did in the last year, 2 years, is they gave that section of the reserve, which we've seen in previous videos, they gave that section of reserve to the banks. I think Citizens Bank is building on this reserve now at one end. I also noticed a large building, and at the other end there's an industrial zone. But this was a strip of land that was reserved for planning by the planners, that could have been a major road or a train line that comes from downtown Georgetown and connects these neighborhoods, right? These neighborhoods, they're like Roxanne Burnham Gardens and South Ruimveldt Park and so on. And if you go all the way to the end of South Ruimveldt, it's a good 1.5 miles, perhaps 2 miles, 2 or 3 miles east of here. Densely populated residential neighborhoods. There's East Ruimveldt on the other side of this reserve. And what I'm saying is that this land was reserved for a reason. It was in fact a wide enough reserve where now that we have the money, we could build a train line, a light rail connecting downtown. But now the government is building banks and industrial zones on the reserve, which shows a lack of insight, lack of understanding of what happens eventually when the population of the city grows to the point where you actually need mass transit. You need not only buses, big buses, not mini buses, but you need trains as well. And it will cost a lot of money at that point to condemn this land, because now you have a bank, 2 bank buildings at the other end, and to condemn those buildings will cost the city, cost the government billions of dollars, right, just to remove structures from this reserve land so you could build a train line. And obviously this government is not going to do it, but some future government is going to have to do it if they want to preserve Georgetown. At least keep it as a livable city, livable walking city that's not choked with traffic because of all the roads that they're building. But that's my point, my view, guys. Tell me what you think about construction on Cemetery Road and this reserve. Share this video with friends and family around the world, let people know what's happening here in Georgetown, Guyana. Later!